Hello all, welcome to www.bspsolutions.com. Today we'll see loading data from flat file with certain expressions through data management. In PBCS, when you're loading data using a flat file through data management, you can use special characters like asterisks and question mark in the mappings to handle more complex data transformations. Okay, so here now I'll quickly explain you how these expressions work. Now this is a wildcard which is used for explicit mapping, and it allows you to map any source value directly to a target value in your system. For example, let's say the source is sales department, and could it be mapped to the target 1001? So if your file has many similar entries, such type of, so you can use question marks in the mapping to map each individual entry to its target, to its respective target. Now let's take the second expression, that is asterisks. Now this is a wildcard symbol that stands for any value, making it useful for like mapping. So it enables the system to accept any source value that meets the condition and map it to a specific target. Let's suppose your source is sales department 1, and we go on like this, sales department 2, and like this we go on, etc. So all these type of source can be mapped to a single target, which is like this. Now let's break it down using a relatable analogy here. So imagine you're managing a restaurant and customers place various orders. You have a system that processes the orders and then assigns them to different kitchen stations, example grill, salad, desserts. Now for each order, it consists of different items, let's say the salads or the cakes or burgers. Now think of the flat file as a list of customer orders and PBCS as the kitchen stations that receive and process the orders. This is a visual representation of the analogy I am describing so that you understand the expression mapping. Now you want specific menu items to go to certain stations. So the customer order is a flat file. It consists of order 1, which is a burger, order 2, which is a salad, and order 3, which is a cake. Now how do we map in the system? Now the burger has to go to the grill station, the salad to the salad station, and the cake to the dessert station. So with the question mark, okay, you are explicitly mapping each menu item, the order, to a specific station, that is the target. This is like having exact instructions for each item. So when the flat file, that is the list of the orders, is loaded into the system, it knows exactly where each item should go. Now let's say you have uh, many types of burgers and you don't want to manually map each burger variation to the grill station. So the customer order, let's say first is, let's suppose this is, you have a cheeseburger, second you have a bacon burger, third you have some veggie burger, and so on. So here you don't want them to map manually each to the grill station. So what you can do, this is the source, let's suppose. So here that you can use here as the asterisks. So burger asterisks, this is the source, and the target is the grill station, so where asterisks can represent any variation of the burgers. So with this asterisks, you tell the system any order that starts with burger should go to the grill station, no matter whatever is the variation. So this is a like mapping that simplifies the process by grouping items. So connecting this with the PBCS, so the question mark example in PBCS. So if you have multiple specific cost centers that you want to map one by one, for example here you see the target is 1001, okay, so this can be mapped to the sales department, or maybe further here you might be have marketing department. So for such type of complex data, you use question mark to ensure each source value is mapped to the right target. Then we come to the asterisks. So if you're loading data and want all accounts that starts with sales, okay, and to be mapped with different sort of sales of the different department sales, or it could be like 4000 and it has to be mapped with 4001, 4002, 4003, all to the same target, then you would be using asterisks. So now let us go to the application. First let me show you my data file here which I'm going to load. Now here you see this is column A is entity, column B is the account ID, and column C is the amount. So in the application, in entity, I do not have E1 Canada. The mapping, the metadata is mapped where I'm having entity name just as Canada, but my source file contains, this is extracted from ERP, and ERP is having the member name, entity member name is E1 Canada. So I'm having these here you can see E1 as the prefixes over here, which I need to remove, and I have to map even Canada to just to Canada. Further, here if you see the account ID, this is all the sales, various sales I'm getting, the account ID. So I have the data in the form, I have the member as 4110, 4120, and so on. So the alphabets over here, this is not there in the application, and the logic behind these alphabets over here is basically these are different sort of sales which is derived from different departments. So these are the suffix over here are all the codes of certain departments. This is miscellaneous revenue, then and so on. I have to map this sort of account ID to just 4110. So this underscore H01 underscore S01, which is the code of different departments from where I'm getting these revenue, I do not want to include this because it is not there in my target. So let us see how this sort of mapping is done. We'll go into the application. I have logged in as administrator, and first and foremost we're going to go to data exchange to register the source and the target application. I'm going into dimension first, and here I will show you the accounts that I have taken. Then we'll start the data management process. So under net income, I have the gross profit, from where I will show you the revenue account. So this is the revenue account, and here I do not have, here you can see I do not have, this is my source file, and I do not have the alphabets over here. I just have the accounts, and I have to map this. Okay, now let me show you the entity I've taken. So here I have the entity as Canada. I do not have E1 as prefix, so this I have to remove and then map to the target. So how the mapping is done, we'll see that. So under application, we will go to data exchange. And under actions, we'll click on application to create the source, data source. So this here you can see the name is file, data source category, data source, and type is file. So data source has already been created. So I will show you how to create that, but will not save this. So category will be data source and type is file, because I'm loading it from flat file. Here you can give the relevant name as January file and so on. So well, this has been created, I'm not creating this one. Next I will create the target application. So category will choose as EPM local, application name is vision, and my input cube is plan 1. Okay, and this is prefixes. If you want to give, you may give for separate identity of the data management you're doing. So I will click this, click on OK, and this application gets registered successfully. Now close this. Now we'll do the period mapping over here. I will search for the period where I'm going to load the data. So January 22, this is there in the global mapping. Let's see whether it exists in the application mapping. So here first select the target application and then search for January 22. So it's not there, so I'll add one. So this has been mapped, the period here. Now close this, and now we'll go to the category mapping. So in the global mapping, you can see current scenario has been mapped. Now I've also added one more scenario here. This is plan. Okay, now after the category mapping, we'll go to the data management. So through the navigator on the left hand side, I will click on data management. Go to the setup tab, and here we'll create the import format. Click on add to create a new import format. Give the relevant name. So this is Jan 22 data. So I'm giving the name as Jan 22 over here. Now the source system is file. And file type is delimited numeric data. And our target application is Vision Plan 1. File delimiter is comma. Save this. Now we're going to map all the dimensions here, basically describing the structure of the source file. So here, if you see, account lies in the second column. This is second. So wherever the particular dimension lies in the source file, we have to mention that. Amount here lies in the third column. An entity in the first column. Here, this is the entity. Then HSP view. This doesn't lies in the data source file, so we'll give a random column number, and I'm providing here as 1. Wherever the data lies in whichever column we can provide. Now we'll provide the member name. Because this is not there in the source file, so we have to provide the member where it is supposed to be loaded. Product is also not there. So we have given the field number, column number as 1, and here I have provided the expression and version is working. So I will just quickly go to the dimension once again, and I will check for these members which is not there. So HSP view, I have taken the base data as the member, then product. So here I have taken P_000. Okay, and lastly I have the version. So I have taken working version. Now we have to create the location. First select the target application, this is Jan 22, and import format, this we have just created for the demo purpose. For the sake of simplicity, I'm keeping all the names alike. This is my import format. I have named it as Jan 22. Similarly, this is the location I've created, and this also I'm naming it as Jan 22. So save this. Now we'll go to workflow tab, and here we'll do the data load mapping. So first, here you can see this is the location, Jan 22, period is correct, Jan 22, and here I am checking for category, so I will load it into plan category. This is the plan sale for January 22. Now this is account. We'll click on like mapping. We are doing like mapping here. Now if you see the account ID over here, 4110_H01. Similarly, we have 4 characters which is not there in the target. All these 4 characters after every account name. So we need to remove this. So our source will be Starix, and I'm sorry, 4 times question mark, because we need to remove the 4 characters. This is our rule 1. Next entity, now if you see entity over here, I have in my target as Canada. E1 are the extra expressions which I do not want. So for correct mapping, I need to remove E1. So E1, that is 2 characters, I have to remove. So here in the source, we're going to take it as twice the question mark, because there are 2 characters that we want to remove, and then asterisk. Next, I have HSP view. I'll do like mapping star, and I'll put the member name. Product, I'm giving star to star mapping. And lastly, I have version, and I'll give a star to a target. I'm writing the member name. Now after the data load mapping is finished, we'll go to data load rule, and we'll create a new rule over here, data load rule. Category is plan. Attach the import format created. Save this. Now this is the file we're going to upload. So here we'll upload that file. The file was already loaded. I'm deleting it because it was having some other data. I'll upload it once again. So here I've selected that particular file. Now we'll execute it. So we'll click on import from source, then export to target. Start period is January 22, end period is January 22. Import and export mode is replace data, and we'll click on run. We'll get a process ID. Well, there is, if we go to the process detail over here, I can see that import has been done, but transform and staging there is some problem, and data has been exported. Okay, I think there is some issues with the scenario I have chosen. I will change the scenario here. So let's go to data load mapping once again, and here let's take the category as current. So category, I've changed the category here because it was not getting transformed. I have changed the category, and I'm exporting the data again. So still I'm getting the error. Let's go to the workbench. I'll check the process detail. So here again, in this new rule also, the data is getting imported. Okay, so now this is another demo instance. I'll try to load my file here in this another instance. So here I'm checking the dimension. So I have here the accounts and the entity. Here it looks similar. So here I have the entity as Canada. So let's go to the data exchange and we'll use the same file. So here data source is already been registered. Let's quickly register the target application. So here the application registered successfully. Now we'll do the period mapping. So Jan 22 is already been mapped. Let's see this in the application mapping. Choose the target application. So this is vision plan 1. Since it is not there, I will quickly add the period over here. After period mapping, we'll do the category mapping. So current is there. Okay, I'm going to load in the current scenario itself. So I'm not mapping any other scenarios in the category mapping. And then we'll go to data management. Here again we have to create the import format. Source is file type is delimited numeric data, and the target here will select vision plan 1. Save this. Account, let me show you the file again. I am renaming this file Jan data 1. So here account is in the second column. Then I have amount here. Amount is in third column. Here you can see this is the amount in the third column. In the first I have entity. Entity is there in the first column. Since HSP view product version is not there in the file, I'm giving a random column number, and here I'm taking the members where I'm going to load. Now create the location. I'll choose the import format that I've just created and just save this. Now here in the workflow tab I will do the data load mapping. So here location, period, category, this is already selected by default. So for account we'll do like mapping. Source will be Starix 4 times question mark. Target will be Starix. This is R1. For entity I will have 2 question marks and asterisk because I want to remove first 2 characters in the member name. Rest all is star to star mapping. So here in the account so in the entity I can see the mapping. I'm unable to see in the account. Okay, I might not have saved it. So this is Starix. So this is account I have done. Entity here you can see. Then HSP view, product, star to star mapping. Lastly version, I have mapped it to the member I am going to load data into. So after mapping, let's create the data load rule over here. the application is not responding, so let me refresh it. Okay, so since this has been deleted, I'm not getting the data load rule creation over here. I'm not able to create it. This is another instance where I've already created the import format and I've tried to load data over here twice, but it is not giving desired result. Let me try again once. Let me load the new file that I've created. So here I tried to load the new data load file, but I'm still not able to load the file. The error, I'm still getting transforming and staging error over here. So let me check into this, because here the application is also got deleted. So due to time constraint, I'm not creating a new application, but here rest of the process is similar. The only difference here in today's session was the complex data, mapping the complex data. So we do it with the help of asterisk and the question mark. So that's it for today. If you have any queries, you may write to us at www.bispsolutions.com. Thank you.